and welcome to the Green-Eyed Ram. Today I am going to do a little bit of cooking. This is my kitchen. It's really small, but it's functional, and that's what counts. Today I'm going to show you a recipe on how to make bread and butter pickles, or quick pickles, or sweet pickles, whatever you call it. The recipe's simple. You don't have to be a cook. You don't have to have much experience in the kitchen. And people are going to be extremely impressed with your pickles. So, these are two types of cucumbers, basically. One is a gherkin, typical cucumber that's used in making pickles. This one is a little smoother, shorter, but it doesn't matter. They both make great pickles. The ideal thing to choose is a cucumber that doesn't have as many seeds. So an English cucumber is a good choice too, but you can use whatever you have. You don't even need to use cucumbers. In fact, I pickle vegetables all the time. I will dice up carrots, cauliflower, celery, onion, beans, and use this exact same recipe to pickle those, and it turns out delicious. So join me in my kitchen today. Here's a little closer view of what I was talking about. These are the gherkin type, and these are the smooth little cucumbers. And this is all you will need. This is the recipe. You have vinegar, pepper, some dill seed here, yellow mustard. This is powdered mustard if you can't get the yellow mustard seed, some salt, some turmeric, and sometimes I have a package of this, but it's not available in Ecuador. It's something that I brought here with me. It's a pickling spice. Now, if you look at what is in pickling spice, you'll see that it's mustard seed, coriander, bay leaves, dill, fenugreek, cinnamon, ginger, allspice, red pepper, black pepper, cloves, and some word I can't say, and sunflower oil. But you don't need it. You can use it if you've got it, but you don't need it. You can make delicious pickles with just these other few ingredients. So here we go. First thing to do, wash your cucumbers and chop them, and I'll show you how. First thing you want to do is decide how you want to cut your pickles. Do you want them in wedges? Do you want them in thin slices to put on sandwiches, or just in rounds? And for me, I like them in rounds. They stack better in a jar. They take up less space, and I don't know, I just like them this way. Now if you check how thick they are, they're less than the width of my finger, so 1/4 of an inch, something like that. Now that you've got all your rounds of cucumbers cut, just generously sprinkle. I have a tablespoon of salt here, and I have 3 bowls going, so I put half my cucumbers in one bowl, and I give them a quick stir so that they get coated in the salt. Then I'm going to stir the other bowl over here, and then I'm going to pour them all together. I have quite a few bowls going here right now, so the quantity is a little more, but half a dozen cucumbers cut into rounds, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of salt sprinkled liberally over it, and now just let it sit. Let it sit for about 30 minutes, and we'll prepare the vinegar brine. While your cucumbers are sitting, prepare the brine. And I forgot to mention in the introduction, sugar. So very important part of the brine. We're going to start with 3 cups of white vinegar. Into the pot it goes. 1.5 cups of sugar. And now you can choose to do the spices that you have on hand. If you don't have pickling spice, no worry. Use pepper, dill, mustard seeds. And if you don't have that, don't worry. A little, bit of oregano and rosemary in there will taste delicious too. So, I know we've already put salt on our cucumbers, but you want to add 2 tablespoons of salt to your brine. And this will penetrate, because we're going to rinse those cucumbers in a minute anyways. And 1 curcuma or turmeric for that lovely yellow yummy flavor. 1 full teaspoon. And as far as the pickling spice is concerned, tablespoon, more or less. It's not an exact science. It's not like baking. So I just put a good solid tablespoon in there. And we're going to heat this up until all the sugar is melted, and it's just before it boils. There, oops. You can see the golden color, and we're just going to wait for all that sugar to melt, or not melt, dissolve. And once the sugar's dissolved, then it's time to add the cucumbers. Now after the cucumbers have sat for a while, you can see, or I'm trying to show you anyways, that, how do I do this? See all the water at the bottom of the bowl? That's the juices from the cucumber, and that's perfectly correct. Now what we want to do is rinse out some of that extra salt. I know you added salt, you're taking it off, but we're going to rinse these and put them into our brine. Here we go. Now the sugar is all dissolved and it's steaming, and that vinegar is filling the air, as you can see. And literally I'm just going to plunk them in. Careful not to splash too much, because that turmeric will get on your clothes and will stain your clothes. So put all those cucumbers in and stir. What I want to show you is the one tricky thing, the one important thing. Now that you've got your cucumbers in your pot, and you're going to heat them up, not to boil and not to cook them, but to allow all the turmeric and the spices to penetrate into them and give them their yummy flavor. And you will do this exactly the same no matter what vegetable you're going to pickle. What I'd like you to watch for is right now the pickles, or not yet pickles, but cucumbers are kind of on the white side. When the turmeric has done its job and made them a light yellow, that's the time you take them out. So I'll show you what that looks like. Just want to show you the difference between when they are ready to jar and when they're fresh before they go in. You can see they've got a nice yellow hue to them, and the uncooked ones are very white. And you don't want to overcook them, because then they just get too soft. But as long as they've got that lovely hue, and you can taste them along the way, don't be afraid, because I do. And you'll see You don't want them soft, but by heating them up like this, allows all the spices to penetrate deeply. Now these are not going to be jarred and canned and preserved on a shelf. They're going into the refrigerator, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, so now we're going to put them in the jar. Get in the jar. I like a wide mouth jar. It just makes it easier to load them up and stack them up. Once your jar is full, then just top it off with the liquid. Oops. We'll just take some of the pickling liquid, and I'll just top it off, and it will continue in the refrigerator. They are ready to eat right now. If you couldn't wait, I'll tell you, normally I can't, but if you just put them in the refrigerator, get them cool, then they're going to be delicious. And ideally, you want to make sure that they are covered. So I'm going to take out a few because I want the juices over top of these cucumbers. There. Now they may float a little bit, and that's okay. And you have yummy, sweet, vinegary deliciousness to have with your next meal. Well, friends, that wasn't so difficult, was it? Here are the wonderful bread and butter pickles. I hope you enjoy them. Ready for your next meal, your next lunch, your next snack. How about even right now? Sounds like a good idea, huh? If there's another recipe that you'd like me to make, if there's something that you're interested in, let me know. I'd be happy to show you how to do it. Bye for now.